President Muhammadu Buhari attends 6
resources that they have done a lot to improve their country.
Niger got its independence from France on the 3rd of August 1960.
Thank you very much.
You know that particularly since President Buhari came into office, he has built a coalition with all our neighbors, Niger, Chad, Cameroon, and Benin Republic, to fight insurgency. And I think Niger has been cooperating and collaborating very well with Nigeria. So when they celebrate something like this, they can only have our best wishes.
President Muhammadu Buhari has since returned to Abuja. Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Nigeria's Foreign Minister, Geoffrey Onyema, says Nigeria will support the implementation of the programs of the D8 Organization for Economic Cooperation, which can help Nigeria industrialize and improve its infrastructure. The minister stated this when he received the Secretary General of the D8, Ambassador Kafar Kushari, in Abuja. Foreign Desk Correspondent Makut Simon Bachan reports.
The D8 Organization for Economic Cooperation, otherwise referred to as D8, is an organization for development cooperation among 8 nations. D8 Secretary General, who is in Nigeria for a working visit, says the body is working on development programs in aviation, health, research and development, agriculture and tourism, as well as youth development.
We are very happy with Nigeria for the commitment. You know, I can say this, that whenever it comes to initiative, whenever it comes to commitment, Nigeria can be among the top that will give their support to us.
Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyema says the D8 is a platform that Nigeria is willing to utilize in moving towards industrialization and development.
We need to think outside the box. We need to come up with new ideas, because the tried and the tested and the old ideas, you know, we can see that there are a lot of constraints. It's not getting us the development that we want as quickly as we want.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has signed a memorandum of understanding with the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, for the UN Junior Professional Development Programme, which is a major recruitment window for candidates into the UN system.
The participation of Nigeria as one of the most important partners that we have in Africa is critical.
The Junior Professional Officers Programme is open for Nigerians under the age of 35. Makut Simon Machan.
Meanwhile, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed also granted audience to the Secretary General of the D8 Nations, restating the federal government's commitment to ensuring that the tourism sector takes a vantage position in Nigeria's revenue-generating platform. Anthony Folsom reports.
Ambassador Kujafar Kushari, who is visiting Nigeria for the first time, listened to the minister who briefed him on how the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration is investing massively in infrastructure as a deliberate policy to position the sector for optimal growth.
It's on record that this government has, in the last 2 years alone, 2016-2017, invested massively in infrastructure. We've invested 2.7 trillion naira in 2 years alone in infrastructure, in roads, in bridges, in railways, in power.
In the area of security, he explained that tourism can only thrive in a secured atmosphere, hence the federal government's heavy clampdown on insurgents.
Being able to banish the insurgents completely out of Nigeria. Today they operate from the fringes of Lake Chad Basin. Not one single inch of our territory today is under the control of Boko Haram.
The minister, however, assured the Secretary General that the present administration has put in place a number of programs and policies which the D8 can partner with Nigeria to check poverty. The Secretary General revealed that number of areas member countries can benefit, ranging from inter-country trade, forging a common platform for members, as well as promoting tourism. He said the D today stands as a collection of nations who have been tagged emerging economies, whose value is expected to hit a $40 trillion mark in the next 20 years.
So the opportunity need to build. And I look at this area as very important.
The D8 is made up of Nigeria, Bangladesh, Egypt, Indonesia, Iran, Malaysia, Pakistan, and Turkey. In NTA
The United Kingdom to investigate properties worth more than £1 billion allegedly to have been acquired in the United Kingdom by Nigeria's politicians and executives in Nigerian governments. Chairman, Special Presidential Investigation Panel for the Recovery of Public Property, Okoye Obono Obla, stated this while briefing newsmen on the process made so far, or rather progress made so far by the panel. Aliu Tukur reports.
The partnership between the Special Presidential Investigation Panel for the Recovery of Public Property and National Crime Authority of the United Kingdom is to, among other objectives, investigate Nigerians who have questionable wealth in the UK. In line with its mandate, the Presidential Panel is currently investigating 6 serving senators, 39 police officers and many government officials for failing to declare their assets as provided in the 1999 Constitution as amended. Chairman of the panel says many oil companies are contributing to the economic challenge Nigeria is facing by refusing to remit royalties and evading taxes amounting to billions of dollars. He says such attitude will no longer be tolerated by the present government. The panel is also investigating non-execution of contracts worth billions of naira.
Corruption has really become endemic and pandemic in Nigeria. The mess left by the previous government just too much. As it will take us a long time, a dogged fight, resolutely, to fight and get back our money. So I expect the press to partner with us.
The panel commends the president for his support and urges Nigerians to key into the fight against corruption by providing useful information that will lead to recovery of more looted assets. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
To the legislature now, the House of Representatives has, in accordance with the House rules, moved and adopted a motion to admit President Muhammadu Buhari into the Green Chambers for the presentation of the 2019 Appropriation Bill at a joint session of the National Assembly. National Assembly correspondent Laimi Ali reports that the House leader, Femi Gbajabiamila, moved the motion at Tuesday's plenary.
In line with tradition, members of the bicameral legislature are to converge by 10 Wednesday morning inside the chambers of the House of Representatives for the joint session of the budget presentation, which holds at 11.
That the President of the Federal Republic be admitted into chambers tomorrow.
A motion to bring in Mr. President to submit budget tomorrow has been passed. That shows patriotism.
In the meantime, Tuesday's plenary passed at second reading a bill for an act to repeal and reenact the Companies and Allied Matters Act, which seeks to improve the process of registration and incorporation of businesses in Nigeria in line with ease of doing business policy of government forwarded from the Senate for concurrence. Also passed at second reading were a bill to establish Institute for Development of Social Studies sponsored by Representative Edward Pojok and the bill for an act to establish Federal University of Education Ikere Ekiti sponsored by Representative Segun Adekola.
The objective of this bill is to establish Federal University of Education by converting or upgrading the already existing College of Education, Ikere Ekiti, to the status of a full-fledged university.
On the strike by staff of the National Assembly, House members urged the workers to go about their demands within the ambit of the law, with a commitment to address the issue, which they said was between staff and management. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The Senate has also indicated its readiness to receive the 2019 appropriation bill from President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday, the 19th of December 2018. The legislators at plenary approved the request of President Muhammadu Buhari to address a joint session of the National Assembly. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports.
Activities at the National Assembly have been obstructed in the last 2 days as a result of the ongoing industrial action by the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria National Assembly chapter. You know, the role of support staff at the National Assembly is very strategic. That is why many thought that there won't be plenary because of the ongoing strike. But at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the two chambers reconvened for plenary, and the motion for Mr. President to be granted audience to present the 2019 budget was approved.
At 11 a.m. on the 2019 appropriation bill, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. I hereby convey to the Senate my decision on the 26th November 2018 to decline presidential assent to the National Broadcasting Commission Amendment Bill 2018.
Those that are of essential services to the National Assembly will have to be available for us to receive, Mr. President. But the bottom line is we are receiving, Mr. President, by the grace of God.
The leadership of the National Assembly has assured of adequate security for the presidential visit. Before the challenge of industrial action by the parliamentary staff, there was rumor that some legislators are planning to boycott the budget presentation in reaction to the president's decision on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill.
The issue of the electoral law, it should not be turned into a partisan thing. It will be very, very unpatriotic for anybody, no matter his grievances, to avoid something that will impact on the same people that voted him to come into the National Assembly.
Meanwhile, the leadership of the National Assembly has advised staff to go back to their duty post as management had made sufficient plan and effort to address all the issues raised. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Time for our first break. More reports when we return.
On behalf of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Ibrahim Potun Idris, NPM MNI, the Commandant of the Nigeria Police Academy Wudil Kano, cordially requests the pleasure of the company of the general public to the passing out parade of cadet ASPs, which will take place on Thursday, 20th December 2018, at the parade ground Nigeria Police Academy Wudil Kano, 9 o'clock in the morning. 2018 passing out parade of cadet ASPs by the Nigeria Police Academy Wudil Kano. Let's celebrate another effort to make Nigeria safer and more secure.
Be like before again, no. Now, many more Nigerians, they suffer inside poverty. They don't fit get better food, better house, better education and healthcare. Unlike 20 years ago. As it be so, now to encourage families to bond the number of people with them fit to take care of, so that them go comot them family and themselves from poverty and reduce economic hardship. Thank God for family planning or childbirth spacing. With them, plenty families go fit to live better lives. As leader where you be, the solution dey your hand, and what you need to do now to take action now. All we lawmakers and government people them must make sure say them put enough money down. We go make sure say childbirth spacing services where plenty people they also call family planning services go reach everybody. Our pastors, imam and traditional leaders supposed open mouth to tell them people about the better thing. We family planning did. We must join hand and get it together. Make our future for bright. Now Federal Ministry of Health they bring on this message.
The Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria invites industry stakeholders and the general public to the launch of its short code *219# Wednesday, December 19, 2018 at the International Conference Center, Abuja. This is the code that allows contributors to retrieve their NTA number, check their contribution balance, obtain account statements, and edit or update their personal information, all on the go. It will also enable contributors receive emails or SMS credit alerts on their mobile phone as soon as their contributions are remitted to the bank. These services can also be accessed by using the FMBN mobile application, which is available for download from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. With the FMBN digital mobile platforms, getting to know your NHF contributions is only a click away. To get started, dial *219# Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria.
Everyone deserves a home.
Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Legal Matters, Research and Documentation warmly invites the general public to attend a conference on the making, implementation and enforcement of treaties under the Treaties Making Procedure Act. Date 19th December 2018. Time 10 a.m. Venue Executive Hall, Abuja International Conference Center. Special guest of honor, Professor Yemi Oshinbajo, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Guests of honor, His Excellency Nasri Ahmed El-Rufai, Governor Kaduna State, His Excellency Kayode Fayemi, Governor Ekiti State, Jeffrey Onyema, Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Abubakar Malami, Honorable Minister and Attorney General of the Federation, Federal Ministry of Justice, Professor Itse Sagi, Chairman, Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, Senator Ahmed Abubakar, Adamawa South Senatorial District, Announcer, Professor Adamu Kyuka Usman.
My name is Hadia Halita Aliu, a NITEL pensioner, having served very meritoriously and even serving on the Pension Reform Steering Committee. I ended up without a pension. The National Council on Privatization, under the chairmanship of Vice President Atiku Abubakar at that time, decided to pay us 3 years pension on a take it or leave it basis. Over 16,000 NITEL MTEL pensioners have struggled to get their pensions restored. Unfortunately, all attempts with successive administrations, did not yield any dividends. The quality of our lives, has been severely impacted, by the stoppage of our pension. President Muhammadu Buhari heralded good tidings. Over 10,000 of our members have already been restored to payroll. We are very, very happy. We are very, very grateful.
Nigeria, a land of promise, land of potential, rich in oil, arable land and solid minerals. Yet hunger, joblessness, homelessness and poverty are widespread. Over the years, Nigeria has suffered from hospitals without drugs, schools without teachers, and a huge infrastructure deficit. Clearly, we are yet to reach our full potential. And one of the reasons is because people choose bad leaders. Some even sell their conscience for a few thousand naira. For 2019 elections, don't sell your vote. Don't sell your future. Don't buy the people's lives. Vote selling is a crime against yourself. You will spend the next 4 years paying for it. Vote buying is against the law. Politicians, stop buying votes. People, stop selling your future. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Thank you for remaining with NTA Network News. In continuation of President Muhammadu Buhari's 76th birthday celebrations, political watchers say it is time to institutionalize his leadership ideology and a new political order. They stated these at the public presentation of a book titled Buhari Concept of Change, organized by the Buhari Support Group Center. Ado Adamu also was there for NTA News.
As the first citizen marks his 76th birthday. For the Buhari Support Group Center, the best way to celebrate with the first family is to bring together over 20 other Buhari support groups to launch the book, Buhari Concept of Change, that captures the president's change philosophy. The outstanding virtue of President Buhari's servant's leadership style took center stage.
We chose to launch this book on this day because it's a special day for Mr. President and therefore a special day for us.
There will be difficult terrain, there will be suffering, but it's slow and steady we'll get there.
May he live long to see Nigeria, which will have abundant growth under him.
The Buhari Concept of Change, a 12-chapter book, analyzes the unique leadership qualities of the president translated in the change mantra that is addressing the multifaceted challenges of the country.
The book is for everybody, academicians, is for the general public, to enlighten them and mobilize them to support the change agenda of this administration.
And the resolution is to take the message to all parts of the country as the support for the president's re-election in 2019 remains central to the groups to move the nation to the next level. In Abuja, Ado Adamu also, NTA News.
Presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, says the time has come for the people of the Northeast geopolitical zone to decide on how the development of the region goes. He stated this during the flag-off of the Northeast PDP campaign rally in Gombe, in continuation of the party's presidential campaign in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Correspondent Emmanuel Akila reports.
PDP stalwarts at the rally, including Speaker Yakubu Dogara, took turns to make campaign promises to the people of the region, while Senator Bayero Nafada led all the PDP governorship candidates in the region to receive their flags from the national chairman of the party, Uche Secondus. Besides talking about his national plan, if elected as president in February 2019, Atiku Abubakar pointed out the specific issues which he believes are peculiar to the Northeast region and would better be addressed by a leader coming from the region. The Wazir in Adamawa was presented with his presidential campaign flag for the region by the PDP national chairman. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
The Nigerian Police Force says it is open to more synergy with security agencies and key players in the electoral process, as experiences gathered in the recent elections are meaningful guides to its deployment strategy in the 2019 general elections. Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris reaffirmed this at the Nigeria Police Security Summit in Abuja. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
Just like the saying that he who fails to plan plans to fail, the Nigeria Police Force is taking the bull by the horn towards brainstorming on ways of ensuring adequate security in line with international best practices. To achieve this, actors and electorate in the political scene would have to play the game by the rules.
Keeping the peace before, during and after elections has become the overriding objective of all stakeholders and indeed all Nigerians.
The summit today is focused on adequate security for the 2019 general elections to ensure violence-free election.
It is imperative to review the template for the 2019 general election in order to reassure Nigerians and the international community of our commitment to credible election.
And have been playing our role of ensuring that we have peace and stability in this country.
Encourage that they should just go there and exercise their civic franchise and then come back peacefully.
Peace, only we can achieve what we want to achieve in Nigeria. This election, we don't want violence.
Take home from the summit, participants believe, is for all to embrace peace for a hitch-free 2019 general elections. From the International Conference Center in Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Security agencies in Edo State have been fully equipped for better performance. Governor Godwin Obaseki stated this at the launch of the Edo State Security Trust Fund, and where he unveils the new security architecture in Benin for safer space for both residents and investors. The report.
3 armored personnel carriers, 50 patrol cars, 30 Toyota Hilux and 30 patrol motorbikes fitted with digital communication, equipped for information sharing, are components of the rejigged security apparatus. Inaugurating the Security Trust Fund, of which the sum of 2 billion naira has been set aside in the state's 2019 proposed budget, the governor says the quest for a civil society should start with the protection of lives and property.
We also have now introduced what we call the Public Works Volunteers, PWOV. This is a scheme where we are recruiting a minimum of 100 young men and women from each ward across Edo State.
We know that the enabling environment for doing business is critical to profits in the private sector.
We have been able to divide into 3 major sectors: policing on the land, of course, policing using the facilities we have for air.
There is a consensus that Edo residents can now sleep with their eyes closed. In Benin, Ogochkuka Ona, NTA News.
Still on security, the Niger Delta region is soon to experience the much-needed peace as hundreds of agitators, known as the Bakassi Strike Force, surrender their arms as part of the amnesty deal brokered by the Cross River State government. The amnesty program is a strategy adopted by the state government to bring to an end maritime crimes and other forms of criminalities in the Niger Delta region. Oduak Etim has details.
The amnesty program, sustained by the federal government, has not only brought peace to the Niger Delta region, but transformed lives. The Bakassi Strike Force keyed into the amnesty deal with the Cross River State government and surrendered their arms in order to restore peace and security in the region. The agitators, who have turned a new leaf, are willing to be rehabilitated, empowered and reintegrated into the society.
I have today resolved to give peace a chance and call on others to do same.
Advise you to continue to be law-abiding.
For the Cross River State government, the amnesty program should be supported to produce the desired results, noting that the Bakassi Deep Seaport project will create jobs for the people.
use this opportunity once more to thank the federal government and thank President Muhammadu Buhari for giving the necessary facilitation and support through the various command structures to allow this amnesty to take place.
The amnesty program is said to be catalyst for sustainable peace to the Niger Delta region. From Bakassi local government area of Cross River State, Uduak Etam, NTA News.
The successes recorded in the environment sector for the past 3.5 years have been attributed to the political will demonstrated by President Muhammadu Buhari. Outgoing Minister of State for Environment and now Emir of Nasarawa, Alhaji Ibrahim Usman Jibril, stated this while handing over to the new Minister of Environment, Suleiman Hassan Zarba.
In the last 3.5 years he has led this country, he was able to attend 3 conferences of the parties. He has gone ahead to sign 4 instruments of ratification. No government has done that before. I expect absolute cooperation for us to be able to get the targets which our principal, President Muhammadu Buhari, desires for this country from this particular sector.
Minister of State of Environment, now Emir of Nasarawa, handing over there to his successor, the new Minister, Suleiman Zarma. Let's now join Jennifer in Lagos for more on the NTA Network News.
Kikudu. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Paul Usoro, over alleged 1.4 billion naira fraud. He appeared before Justice Muslim Hassan of the Federal High Court, Lagos. Vera Chimuba reports that his application bail was also argued.
The NBA president, Paul Usoro, was arraigned on a 10-count charge of fraud and conversion of 1.4 billion naira of Akwa Ibom state government to his personal use. Usoro was alleged to have converted and laundered the money in connivance with the Akwa Ibom state governor, Emmanuel Odom, though he was not listed as a defendant. The NBA president is charged alongside Akwa Ibom State Commissioner for Finance, Nsekan Nkan, Mfo Udoma, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Uwedimemo Nwoko, and one Margaret Ukpe, all of whom are said to be at large. When the charge was read and plea taken, Usoro pleaded not guilty. Counsel to NBA President Wole Olanikbeku moved the application for his bail and asked the court to grant him bail on self-recognizance, since he had been reporting to EFCC office on his own. EFCC counsel Rotimi Oyadakbo did not oppose the bail application. Justice Muslim Hassan granted him bail in the sum of 250 million naira, with one surety in like sum. The surety must not be below the rank of a director in the civil service. He is also to deposit title documents with Chief Registrar of the court. The defendant's international passport with the EFCC is to be deposited with the court registry. Counsel to Usoro pleaded for time to enable the defendant fulfill the bail conditions. A counsel, Basin Ofiom, undertook to stand in for the NDA president pending his fulfillment of the bail conditions. Trial begins on the 6th of February 2019. In Lagos, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
Now, the National Inland Waterways Authority has launched a 400-horsepower boat ambulance equipped with first aid kits. This is part of the continuous efforts aimed at ensuring safety on the waterways and encouraging water transportation. Dr. Oguyemi has this report.
With over 10,000 kilometers of inland water in Nigeria, the need for safety on the waterways is one concern that regulators, operators and passengers are taking seriously. The National Inland Waterways Authority is preaching compliance with the Inland Water Transport Code to avert boat mishaps.
Thank you.
This boat ambulance is one infrastructure that has been in high demand given the statistics of casualties occurring from boat accidents. Managing Director, NIWA, Senator Olonibe Mamora, at the launch of the ambulance, says it is born out of the need to be ready for emergency operations.
Particularly in this instance, Lagos State, where we have a very high level of
water transport users. So it's quite in order for us to do that. And of course, I want to commend the Lagos office for really doing this at this time.
The agency is also working to standardize life jackets as stakeholders laud the initiative.
And this will go a long way to secure the life of the people and also give people more confidence of using the waterways.
For something like this to happen, it means we have one, emergency numbers to call. Two, once it comes, we believe that the personnel inside are trained to be able to give the basic minimum requirement for people who are either drowning or in one need or the other.
Of this boat ambulance is one area amongst many which the National Inland Waterways Authority is looking at to ensure that incidents of boat mishaps are reduced.
In Lagos, Dotun Oguyemi, NTA News.
Thank you, Dotun. You're still watching NTA Network News. Time for a quick break. The news will continue afterwards with Kudu in Abuja. Stay with us.
Lagbaja. Omo Baba Muko.
Na Baba be that.
How do I know you are not an impostor? Oya, play me something.
Abba, my band members are all over the world. Let me connect with them on Glow 4G and make some great music for you. Who's on Glow here?
I got Glow. Well, I've got Glow too.
I go show you.
Hello, sir.
Aleki, Gogo, Jide, guitar. Uzo, give me conga. Ahmed, keyboard. 1, 2, 3.
No matter where you are in the world, rest assured, Glow has you covered. Glow August SIM, the unrivaled big boss of data. Upgrade to a 4G SIM for free and get 125% bonus. Also enjoy 25% data bonus on all auto renewals. Dial *777# to choose a plan.
I want to make government build more shop because me, I want my own shop.
I want government to increase the LSTF loan.
I want to make Lagos do more better road. No galloping, no go slow.
I want better schools for our children. I desire world-class equipment in our hospitals.
Let government build more low-cost housing.
We want more job opportunities and empowerment.
I want.
When Lagos calls, Sanwo-Olu answers.
Fellow Lagosians, my name is Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. I hear your call for inclusive government, for continuity of the great works, for a better life for all of us. But as I hear that call, I don't stand there calm, and that call make we join hand in hand. Make we build that Lagos that all of us truly want.
Vote Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu for Governor of Lagos State. Vote APC. Cadbury Hot Chocolate 3-in-1. A delicious combination of rich cocoa and wholesome goodness of milk. Just add hot water to get an instant chocolatey treat. Cadbury Hot Chocolate 3-in-1. Just add hot water.
Your perfect family is under threat by germs. Infectious diseases are now the world's biggest killer of adults and children. These infectious diseases are caused by germs. They are everywhere. An average human being comes in contact with over 1 million germs daily in unclean water, dirty surfaces, in the toilets, on cuts and wounds, on your clothes. Germs can cause deadly diseases like typhoid, diarrhea, flu, and cough. To protect your family from germs, use the power of Dettol's One Capsule for surface cleaning in your bathing water, in your laundry water, for first aid to protect your family from up to 100.
Time now for business news with Amina Nujem. What's the latest about the merger between Access and Diamond Bank?
Well, for now, the Central Bank of Nigeria seems to be giving the go-ahead, but we are still watching.
Give them the go-ahead, or did you say that?
The process is ongoing. Right. Following the announcement of the acquisition of Diamond Bank PLC by Access Bank, Monday investors have swarmed on shares of both banks. On the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange this Tuesday, the 18th of December 2018, Diamond Bank traded in full bid as it gained 4.40 billion in 2 days. Reason being the expectant merger, exchange ratio and resettlement price. The euphoria for Access Bank, however, declined as it had earlier enjoyed the attention of investors, but eventually it declined, topping the losers table, depreciating by 5.52%. Zenith Bank, Mossad Insurance, WAPCO were the most traded stocks. In the meantime, the OSHA index appreciated by 0.67% to close trading at 30,814.33 basis points, while market capitalization gained 0.67% to stand at 11.255 trillion naira. Now, away from the NSE, attention is on the Nigerian manufacturers to do more on value addition in their production lines, especially for export. Nigeria, like many African countries, is a net exporter of raw materials. Total export value in the third quarter of 2018 increased by 7.8% over the second quarter and rose 35.7% over the third quarter 2017, with raw materials export value rising by 1.63% in the quarter. Executive Director, Nigeria Export Promotion Council, Olusegun Awolowo, said the leveraging on technology to market Nigerian products to the world is one of the ways to encourage intra-Africa trade.
Money at a very low rate, and then the money is available.
Fell more than 4% on Tuesday as plant production curbs by global producers led by Saudi Arabia and Russia failed to allay concerns about renewed oversupply stroked by swelling U.S. shale output. Fears about weaker oil demand amid a potential slowdown in global economy have also added to the worries about how effective the supply cuts will be. The fall in oil came amid a broader sell-off in the global equities market due to persistent worries over how the U.S.-China trade war could hit economic growth. Mohammed, that's it on business. Back to you.
I believe you will keep us updated on the merger between Access Bank and Diamond Bank.
Keep a very close watch on it.
Thank you, Amina. Moving on now, Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Mekan Tibaru, has tasked the corporation's downstream retail arm to achieve 30% market share petroleum products distribution business in Nigeria by 2020. The GMD emphasized that on-the-spot dismissal awaits staff who engage in corrupt practices. Correspondent Lydia Sampson has the report.
The NNPC Retail, operators of NNPC mega stations, a brainchild of the former GMD of NNPC, Gaius Obaseki, was established in 2002 to address petroleum scarcity. Speakers at the first triennial conference of the Pengasson NNPC Retail branch says the company has not only realized its objective, but rebranded petroleum distribution in Nigeria.
The mega station came in, everybody now rebranded. To my mind, that is the greatest achievement.
The target I gave of 30% by 2020 must be achieved.
As a brand ambassador for the NNPC, the downstream subsidiary of the corporation, Managing Director, NNPC Retail says is poised to consolidate on customer satisfaction and efficient service delivery. The unions are resolved to continue to collaborate management towards the overall development of the NNPC and the oil and gas sector. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The national campaign for patronage of Made in Nigeria goods has been taken to the industrial city of Aba in Abia State. Kelechi Okata reports on the two-day event organized by the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
The campaign is for patronage of Made in Nigeria products, with Aba hosting the launch of the national event in the Southeast Zone. Industry, Trade and Investment Minister, who declared the event open, was represented by Director, Human Resource and Management.
Use what is produced in Nigeria
And I've seen that people are taking this as an encouragement and as a challenge. All that we need to do is to keep on and then keep awareness of those that have not heard about it.
It's high time we all look backwards. It is nice you patronize them.
And now, for instance, we are in Aba. Aba is the China of Nigeria, and there are so many things happening here. In September this year, just 2 months ago, we were in South Africa. The way they welcomed our product, they were so excited with what we brought to them.
Participants include SME operators, textile manufacturers, Southeast Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, who are considered drivers of the economic diversification policy. In Aba, Kelechi Okata, NTA News.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boz Mustafa, has presented medical facilities to Daura General Hospital. A digital X-ray machine was handed over to the hospital to replace a 49-year-old one that the hospital has had. Correspondent Abdul Malik Hassan completes the story.
In line with the mandates to intervene in the socio-economic development of Nigeria, the National Lottery Trust Fund donated the new digital X-ray machine to replace the 49-year-old crashed analog machine at the hospital. Among other equipment donated to the Leko Abdurrahman General Hospital Daura include blood banks, beds and mattresses. The executive secretary of the fund, Malam Bello Megari, said the facilities will help reduce the constant referrals of patients from Daura and environs to other places for treatment.
This will curtail travels for long distances to neighboring states, and other patients from other places too will now start obtaining their healthcare attention here.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Special Duties, Mr. Williams Ali, said the fund has made similar interventions on sports development, education, public welfare, among others, across the nation. Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari was represented at the occasion by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Kabir Mustafa. In Katsina, Abdul Malik Hassan, NTA News.
Nigeria Customs Service says it will continue to frustrate smugglers who are bent on sabotaging the efforts of government in ensuring sufficiency in local rice production. Abdullahi Mohammed reports that in line with this, the Zone B Customs Service, Kaduna, intercepted a truckload of foreign rice smuggled into the country along Gusau-Sakwata Road.
This truck carried about 600 bags, with each sack containing 2 prohibited foreign rice concealed as onions, all in a bid to beat the eagle eyes of the officers and men of the Nigeria Customs Service. The controller of the Federal Operations Unit Zone B Command Kaduna, Sarikin Kebbi Mustafa Muhammad, said this could cripple the growing interest in local rice production, which has already reduced drastically Nigeria's imports bill.
But what worries me is that why must people continue to smuggle in this, knowing fully that they can easily lose their money and their means of livelihood? There are many other businesses, legitimate businesses for them to pursue. Why can't they stop this? Because it's illegal. What they are doing is illegal. It's detrimental to the economy of the country.
This is the second time in a month that the command intercepts this kind of contraband, with a duty-paid value amounting to about 20 million naira. In Kaduna, Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has joined the entertainment industry in celebrating ace cinematographer, movie producer, and former chairman of the Nigerian Film Corporation, Chief Eddie Ogboma, who turned 78 on December 19, 2018. President Buhari commends Chief Ogboma's courage and foresight for pursuing the dream of setting up the first film village in Africa and remaining undaunted in building a film college to train scriptwriters, actors, directors, and producers, and thereby providing inspiration for today's blossoming Nollywood industry. President Buhari believes Chief Ogboma's training and exposure in London in drama and film translated into gains for the film industry in Nigeria, affirming that his patriotism was captured in the storylines. Ibadan Network Center is next on our lineup, and Kemi is on standby. Hello, Kemi. Over to you.
Kudu, good evening and welcome to Ibadan. Purposeful leadership is pivotal to reinvigorating the state of the economy of any country. Discussants at a roundtable on leadership in Oyo State made the emphasis in Ibadan, the state capital. Ayomiko Ajibola tells us more.
Discussants at the roundtable agreed that to identify effective solution is key in tackling developmental challenges.
We have local governments that are collecting applications but have no potential for adding value to the development value chain.
Can we talk about building institutions if we do not have effective accountability?
Strong institutions, and lasting ones for that matter, are created and nurtured by strong men, leaders of vision.
APC national leader Bola Ahmed Tinubu said Oyo State needs a focused and determined leader like Governor Abiola Ajimobi to gradually re-engineer the economy of the state for the benefit of all.
In a country where leadership is lacking, is rare, there are few like you, and we need many like you.
Eminent Nigerians, including General Yakubu Gowon, Minister for Health, Oni of Ife, Alaafin of Oyo, among others, attended the program. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
The Albino Foundation has organized a training for people living with disabilities in Osun State, aimed at equipping them for active participation in political affairs. Respondent Femi Afari-Ogun reports that with this training, there is increased capacity for people living with disabilities who aspire to hold political offices in the country.
57-year-old Adedeji Adebayo, though blind, has been into politics since 1977. Like these other two physically challenged persons, he has for years nursed the ambition of contesting for political posts, but could not achieve this due to discrimination and not knowing how to go about it. The hope of these people and about 60 other politically active persons living with disabilities in Osun State has been rekindled with this training by the Albino Foundation in collaboration with the European Union on effective ways of building political structures.
Giving them simple strategies on how they can participate in the electoral process.
This workshop, it gave us a way to gain the minds of political parties.
How to use media, and we want persons with disability to be voted for.
Organized in Ekiti, Osun, and the Federal Capital Territory as pilot scheme, the training is expected to spread to other states. In Osogbo, Femi Afari-Ogun, NTA News.
More reports after this break with Kudu.
Experts on ways to save in sports in the country. That is our focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live promises to be educative and incisive. Don't miss it.
The Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria invites industry stakeholders and the general public to the launch of its short code *219# Wednesday, December 19, 2018 at the International Conference Center, Abuja. This is the code that allows contributors to retrieve their NHF number, check their contribution balance, obtain account statements, and edit or update their personal information, all on the go. It will also enable contributors receive emails or SMS credit alerts on their mobile phone as soon as their contributions are remitted to the bank. These services can also be accessed by using the FMBN mobile application, which is available for download from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. With the FMBN digital mobile platforms, getting to know your NHF contributions is only a click away. To get started, dial *219#. Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria.
Everyone deserves a home.
This festive season, there's no place like home. Get a GoTV decoder and GoTenna and 1 month of GoTV Max subscription for only 6,900 Naira. GoTV. Live it, love
Sports is next. NFF Emergency Committee insisted Super 8 tournament must go ahead. And Manchester United sacks Jose Mourinho as manager. Kenema Budike has details on Sports Update.
The Emergency Committee of the Nigeria Football Federation has given the go-ahead on the Super 8 tournament of the Nigeria National League (NNL) to produce 4 teams to be promoted to the Nigerian Professional Football League for the 2018-2019 season. The committee said it took the decision after careful consideration of the relevant rules and regulations, contemporary best practices, and what is obtainable and defendable in the international sphere. The NTA's 5-a-side football team remains in contention for a second consecutive title at the FCT chapter of the Sport Writers Association of Nigeria Swan Games, following their 2-0 defeat of Team ITV in the semi-finals Tuesday.
We are going to take the trophy. We are here to defend that same trophy.
The final match is slated for Thursday. Meanwhile, Manchester United Tuesday parted ways with coach Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years in charge. Mourinho's assistant Michael Carrick takes over on the interim as the Old Trafford outfit shops for a replacement. The club's worst start to a season in 28 years was confirmed with defeat at Liverpool on Sunday as they sit 6th in the Premier League table and 11 points off the Champions League places. With Sports Update, Kenan Emma Abodike, NTA News.
Now, the weather prospects for Wednesday.
You're welcome to the weather forecast from the Nigerian Meteorological Agency. I am Blessing Agambi. Here's a summary of what we expect within the next 24 hours. Most parts of the north to the inland cities of the south are expected to be in dust haze condition, with more deteriorating visibility anticipated in some parts of Kano, Katsina, and Zaria axis, while other parts of the north to the inland cities of the south should have visibility of between 1 to 3 kilometers. As we progress towards the coastal cities, we expect mostly mixed conditions in the morning with some patches of cloud by the afternoon. And that's the weather forecast from the Nigerian Meteorological Agency. I'll leave you the temperature details. Thank you for watching.
And that concludes NTA Network News for tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Muhammad Kuda Abubakar. Good night.
NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel